we're going to get started. I'm just excited to have you tonight. I know you have a lot of great things coming up, and I'm just thrilled to have this conversation with you tonight. And for everybody who's watching, if you don't know, my name is Ramunda Lark Young. I am the co-founder and co-owner of the award-winning MahoganyBooks that's based right here in Washington, D.C. We just actually opened up in November, and we have amazing speakers that come to our store and visit and host author events. So I'm excited about that. But even more importantly, I'm excited to have this amazing woman on with us this evening. She is the one and only Miss Doreen Rainey. Let's just give it up for that.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yes. So Doreen, you are a speaker, a coach, the CEO, Vice President of Operations of Act Like a Success, which is a Steve Harvey company. But more important than that, it's been 10 years. I can't believe it. 2008 is when you had your first Radical Success intensive. And so here we are, 2018, 10 years. How does that feel, first of all?
It's amazing. It's hard to believe that 10 years have gone by, and this journey has just been one full of so many lessons, so many wins, so many lessons learned and challenges. And it's exciting when I look back to see where we started and where we've ended up today. So it's amazing. Yeah.
You should be very proud. A lot of people may not be aware of you, and so many people are. DC is all the buzz because you have an event coming up here soon that we're going to talk about. Yes. But for our audience, can you please share what you do and why did you start this whole success journey that you've helped so many women and entrepreneurs and leaders on? Why did you start this?
So, I began my coaching practice while I was still working in corporate America in human resources. And it was in that role that I came to understand that some people took responsibility for their lives and what they could create, while other people look to others, like to the job or to your boss or to your industry to supply your happiness and your joy. And it was out of that experience that I began to coach people around being able to dictate their future, to create their future, to be in charge of their future. And out of that was born my coaching company. And I have been helping people get radical ever since, helping people define success for themselves and get the guts to go after it so that they can do both of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, which is powerful because so many people, they see success. They feel like success is going, everybody else is attaining success except them. And they see it's like this fleeting thing and they're not sure how to go after it. But you've set up your life around teaching people those tools to be successful in their lives. So your company is all about radical success. And for some people, they're not sure even what that means. What do you mean when you say radical success?
Well,
I
always believe that radical is relative. And so the first thing we have to do is step out of what society or culture or media or family or celebrities tell us what success should be. We really have to be able to think about our own gifts, our own purpose, our own talents, where our own joy and fulfillment comes from, so that we can create our own definition of success, so that we can decide how do we want to spend our days? Who do we want to surround ourselves with? What type of impact do we want to have? Do we want to make a difference within our family unit? Do we want to make a difference within our community? Do we want to make a difference within our world? And if so, what is it that we need to do to create that for ourselves? And so to be able to think about what is it that you see is the key to your own joy, happiness, and fulfillment.
So why do so many people not attain it? Why are we getting stuck, so to speak?
I was telling somebody earlier today that I heard something this past weekend that really struck me. And you asking this question, I think this captured some of it, is it really does take all that. We live in a society where I think we've been played. Social media, the microwave wins. People think that success should come easier now, that you don't necessarily have to do all the steps, all the work, all of the things that it takes to get where you want to be. And the truth is, it does take all of that, you know, and if you're willing to not just do the work, but find out what work needs to be done so that you're doing productive work, not just busy work, then
that's a nugget right there.
Then you'll be able to get the results that you're looking for. And one of the things that it takes is an internal transformation. You know, we said I've been in business for almost 10 years. I've seen a lot of people go through my coaching programs, go through other coaching programs. I've seen a lot of people invest in their success. But the truth is, many of those people aren't experiencing the success that they believe they should be, or they think they should be experiencing. And I see people go from program to program, workshop to workshop, coach to coach with great intentions, but not viable results. And it's because we haven't changed who we are, what we think, and what we believe on the inside.
Ooh, y'all need to tweet that. We have not found what we need to do on the inside.
Right. And until you do that, you can have all the strategies, all the tools, all the concepts that you want. But if you don't have the belief, if you don't have the confidence, if you don't have the self-esteem, if you haven't managed your fear enough to execute, you will forever be an information gatherer and never an action taker.
Ooh, okay, you're dropping mics tonight. Doreen Rainey, an information gatherer and not an action taker. Is that what you said, that last part?
Yes, exactly, exactly. And what I see is that many people have mistaken gathering information for action. And so because you read this book, you watched this webinar, you went to this workshop, you enrolled in school, you're taking this training class, because you've done that, you've confused that with taking action. All you've done is gathered information. And we have psyched ourselves up to believe that gathering information is actually taking action, and they're two very different things.
Right. And it's so true, especially in this age of social media, I believe. And I'm all for social media. My husband and I started our business online, so we're all about the online space. But with social media, what I've noticed is that you can take this snapshot out of a whole 24-hour day where it looks like you've been successful and you've created this great product or you've experienced this great thing. But in reality, the whole backdrop of that is something totally different. And I think a lot of people get this quick fix, like, oh, look at them, and look at her, and they look successful without all of the extra steps and intention that it takes and the work that it takes to make that happen. So I think it's even exacerbated even more now in the world that we live in now, because we're always seeing these little snapshots.
Yes.
What's your thought?
And some of those snapshots don't reveal all of the work that they've done on themselves. It doesn't reveal all of the challenges and failures that they may have experienced to get there. And sometimes it doesn't even reveal the truth. Some people are simply lying. And so when you get caught up in other people's highlights and other people's lies, then you tend to discount your own effort or discount your own journey. And the truth is, we need to be so focused on our intentions, on our goals, and on our actions that while we can glean and be excited and motivated and celebrate with other people, we need to be busy about our own business and working on the goals that we have for ourselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. Really quickly, like I mentioned earlier, we've been in a business 11 years, but I tell people we're the 11-year overnight success because people did not see 11 years of my husband and I in our apartment building with a little laptop trying to make a business work. They just see, oh, MahoganyBooks now, or, oh, you know, it's this misinformation, I think. But I think with what you're doing is helping to change that. A lot of people are all in this professional development, which is great. But how do we take all this professional development into the action space?
Right.
That's the biggest key, switching it to action, sounds like.
And part of that process is being willing to admit that professional development is not enough. You need personal development. And
personal development.
Many of us love the quotes, love the memes, love the hashtags, you know, level up, you know, boss lady, you know,
Right.
making it happen, out here grinding and hustling. But the truth is, we are so overwhelmed with fear. We're so consistent in staying in our comfort zone that I would love if we could just live up to some of the stuff that we post. If we could just live up to some of the quotes and the memes that we like. And so I believe that we have to take a serious internal look at what we believe, what we think, what we have on the inside of us, because that will determine what we experience externally. And I've spent the past 10 years researching, interviewing other successful people, investing in my own formal education, informal education, so that I can fully understand what internal success drivers are needed to produce the results that you want. And so the first thing you have to admit is that you need some personal growth, that you've got some fears, some old stories, some things going on in your mindset that is preventing you from getting the things that you want. And I don't know if Steve Harvey originated this, but I heard it first from him, is that we don't ever get what we want. We get what we believe.
Oh, hold on. Let's pause just a little bit. We never get what we want. We get what we believe.
Yes. I know a whole lot of people who want a whole lot of stuff. And you know what?
Right.
They're genuine. Like, they really want it. Like, they're excited about it. They can even do some things to try to make it happen. But you don't get what you want. You get what you believe. And if the belief about what you deserve, if your beliefs about money, if your beliefs about men, about women, about business owners, if your beliefs don't supersede your wants in a way that puts you out there as an action taker, you will forever want. You'll just keep creating those vision boards and putting the glitter and the glue and cutting out the magazines and all that kind of stuff. Excited. Like, I don't think people are lying about what they want. They just don't know that if they don't fix their internal success drivers, they'll always want it, but they'll never experience it.
So what would you say, I would say 3 barriers that you feel many people face when it comes to that type of success? What's holding us back? What would you say 3 barriers to that success?
So the first thing I think that holds us back is good old-fashioned fear. Right? Whether we are consciously aware of it or we're unconsciously aware of it, if we don't do the things that we know we're supposed to do, we are in fear of something. And so now you need to uncover, what are you in fear of? Are you afraid of failure? Are you afraid of success? Are you afraid of being judged? Are you afraid of looking like a fool? Are you afraid of what your family would say? Are you afraid of what your boss would say? You've got to first decide, what is this fear that I've been either unaware or too afraid to name? And just name it. I mean, if you're tuning into this live now, or even if you're watching on the replay, if you already know what some things you're afraid of, just name it. Put it in the comments. This is what I'm afraid of. And so that's one of the things that hold us back. And if you don't learn how to manage that in a real way, then those fears will continue to show up and continue to repeat the cycle in your life.
So fears, the number one barrier, you would say.
Number 2, barrier to actually getting the success that you want is that we don't take the time to get clear. And I think we think we're clear.
Right.
But what I found is that the more questions I ask, the less clear people become. So, just a simple example. People will say, I want to be able to quit my job and do my business full time. All right, great. So how much money do you need in the bank, and how much money do you need coming in to quit your job? Man, I could just make $10,000 a month. I could quit my job. Okay, so you don't have any current debt, because you can't grow a business and pay off debt, right? It's really hard, right? So, well, no, I got some debt. So maybe you want to think about taking care of your debt first, so that when you leave your job, you don't have that stress and that extra overwhelm. Now, do we hear the stories about people who quit their job and eat bread and drink water and then boom, it all works out and they're millionaires? Absolutely. Most people, though, that's not the way it goes. And so now they're saying, okay, well, then I need to make $20,000 in my business so I can quit my job a month. Okay, great. So what do you sell? Oh, I got a book. Okay, how much is your book? $20. Okay, so how many books do you got to sell to new people every single month to even get $5,000 or $10,000? Right? So tell me, what do your household expenses run? Well, I got a mortgage and a car and, food. Okay, do you have a cell phone? Do you have cable? Do you need to replace your shoes? Or do you need to put money into a savings account? Like, what does this whole financial picture look like? And so a lot of times we think we have clarity, but we really don't. We really don't. You want to get out of debt? How much debt are you in? And I ask people that all the time, and they can't tell me. Like, if you want to get out of debt, you need to be like, look, I owe $42,812.
That's right.
32 cents. Because somebody is going to write you a check. So how much clarity do you have? So I think that's a big hindrance. We think we're clear, and then we start taking action, but it's really hazy, and you really don't have a target that you're searching for. Yeah.
Just really quickly, I saw someone wrote in the comments there that they said, we were talking about fear, and one of their fears is that their best is not good enough. So it sounds like those are tapes and things that we're encountering. Do you feel like a lot of your clients have had that same type of fear, that they're just not good enough?
Yes, they're not good enough. They're not smart enough. They're not capable enough. They're not ready yet. They need to learn more. They need to understand more. And the truth is, sometimes that's true. So I just want to start there. Sometimes that's true. When I started coaching entrepreneurs, I used to start with marketing and branding and all of those kinds of things. And I learned early on that I needed to ask an initial question, which is, are you good at what you do? Like, let's not be out here trying to sell something that you really can't, back up.
Come on.
I love coaching, but all coaches aren't at a skill level that they may need to be at to deliver the results that they're trying to sell.
That's good.
And so I think that that's a valid evaluation that you need to take of yourself. Am I good? Can I deliver? And if not, then get the skills that you need, get the training, get the education. But if you are and you're still not moving forward, yes, that is a fear thing, and you need to change the stories that you tell yourself. And inside of my radical training, I walk people through a process, because first you even have to identify where it comes from. Right. And then you have to begin to identify the process of changing your beliefs, right? So this is beyond affirmation. You can't affirm yourself to transformation, okay? You can affirm yourself as a part of your transformation. But transformation does not just come from affirmation. And transformation is complete change. So you have not transformed if you go back. You have not.
Say that again.
You have not transformed if you go back. If you lost the weight and you gained it back, you never transformed. You never changed your eating habits. You never changed.
I'm tiptoeing out of the room on that one. Yes, that's powerful.
Right. If you were out of debt and you declared being debt free, and you talk like you were debt free, but now you're back in debt, you were not transformed, because transformed is complete permanent change. And so you have to do that on the inside. What you think, what you believe, what you say about yourself, what you stand on, that has to be permanent change.
Wow. Woo! So all of this, we only been on for just a little bit, but all of this, I know you have an amazing event that's coming up, to where all of these people that are listening live or will watch the replay, if you're not on it live right now, catch the replay, go through the comments, go through this entire conversation, because there's so many nuggets that Doreen has dropped. But your event is coming up here in DC in September, I believe it is. And let me back up really quickly. Something you mentioned earlier, we talked about personal development and what you do? What do you feel like is the difference? Because there's a whole huge industry that talks about personal development, personal development, personal development. What's the difference? What's the difference in what you're doing? Because it is different. It is radical.
So, you know, personal development is really about an internal transformation. And what most people do, either because they don't know or they're too afraid, is focus on the external.
Okay.
And so they'll set a goal, right? I want to get out of debt. I want to lose weight. I want to make X amount of dollars. And what they'll do is they'll move directly to the how-to, right? Okay, I need to make a budget. I need to start an automatic savings account. I need to get a website. I need to, you know, they'll go to the how-tos, not realizing that your real success to be able to create sustainable wins is tied to what you think and believe about yourself on the inside. And when people don't act on what they already know to do, there's something else at play. So many times when people come to me and they say, well, I want to do this and I just haven't been able to do it yet. I don't know how to do it. And then I ask them, well, if you did know what to do, what would you do? And 100% of the people know enough to at least get started, but yet they haven't done it. And they haven't done it because of fear, of what they believe, of what they think. And so to be able to understand who you are and why you are, and to be able to do a mindset DNA assessment to see what habits do I need to shift, what behaviors do I need to change, who do I need to surround myself with to support me in this journey.
Ooh, that's good by itself.
Yes. And those are the questions that lead to the permanent transformation, that leads to it. The action becomes secondary. When you have an internal transformation, guess what? The exercise just happens. The eating habits just change. The money habits just change. Why? Because you've placed a new value on that. When you have an internal transformation, why would I do that to my body? When I have an internal transformation, why would I do things detrimental to my financial success? When I have an internal transformation, why would I allow anyone to treat me in a way that isn't deserving of how I know I deserve to be treated? And so we want to make our actions a byproduct, like a no-brainer, because we've changed our mindset DNA and we stand so much more firmly and confidently in who we are and why we are. And then we're able to go out and do those things that we want to do and experience in life.
Ooh, so let me just say this for everybody watching. Mark your calendars for September 14th through the 16th. Doreen, can you tell us why it will be one of the most transformative weekends that people will experience?
Yeah, so, you know, many people who might have known me from my other events, this is different, and it's different for a reason. And I'm all for content, training, and motivation and inspiration, but my focus now is really on the internal transformation. And so this event, September 14th to the 16th, is about taking you on a journey of getting to know you. And that is one of the most frightening, challenging, but most rewarding journeys you can take. And so inside of this environment, you'll have the opportunity to understand not just what you want, but why you want it. Why haven't you got what you've been wanting for months, for years, or for even decades? What are those things that you need to release and let go of that aren't serving you anymore? And then how do you do it? So we want to move beyond the catchphrases. Girl, you got to let it go. Okay, how?
Yes.
How?
There's plenty of them, right?
Feel the fear and do it anyway. But how? Like, how do I do that? And the answer is an individual process, because we all have our individual stories. We all have our individual experiences. We all have our individual failures and successes. And so you have to be able to pick apart what's individual for you so that you can actually live out those catchphrases, understand how to do it. And so I'll be there sharing that process with you. And I'm excited about it because this is for people who are just ready. You know, you already got some how-tos. Like, you don't need me to tell you how to market your business. You know what you're supposed to do. You don't need me to tell you how to get out of debt. Stop spending money you don't have. Like, the how-to is not the problem. The how-to is not the problem. Even if you think you don't know how, I bet you if you sat down and chose any one of your goals, you could figure out the how-to. Now, you may be afraid to do it because it takes courage to be radical. It takes some guts to be radical. It takes being willing to ruffle some feathers to be radical. And so you may not want to do it. You may be afraid to do it, but you know what to do. So you come to this event September 14th through 16th, and you learn how to reset your mindset DNA so that doing those things, you have the courage to do it. You have the guts to do it, because it's really about life. Like, when are you going to choose the life that you envision for yourself? When are you going to choose to step up and elevate and bite the bullet and do this thing once and for all? I'm asking you to choose now and to get the process for doing that at the upcoming Radical Success Intensive.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. So, Doreen, how can people find out about this intensive? How can they find out more about you? How can they keep up with what you're doing? All the great work you're doing, all the lives that you're helping to transform, all the people that are choosing to transform themselves. How can they keep in touch with you and find out about this event?
Well, you can go to the event website, which is the radicalsuccessintensive.com. And you'll get all the details and information about what we'll be looking at that day. And it might seem deep because it is deep. You know, sometimes we go to events, we want to feel good and laugh and joke. And trust me, we're going to feel good. We're going to laugh. We're going to have a great time. But at the end of that time, you're going to know some things about yourself that you've never known before. And it's going to set you free. And so if freedom is your thing, you want to go to the radicalsuccessintensive.com. And, you know, for those of you who are tuning in and listening, they can use a discount code that we've set up for you. They can use the discount code SERIES, SERIES, and they can save $300 because they're here tuning in with us today. And also all of my social channels. You know, if this has been something that has really resonated with you, that you've gotten some ahas or some light bulb moments, you know, I want to hear about it. Leave it in the comment section here. My Instagram, Twitter is at Doreen Rainey. And I would love to hear from you, because the work that I do, I take very seriously. I think the last year or so of my life, I've become so serious about this thing. Like, I'm not playing. And not that I was playing before, but in 10 years, I've seen so many people want it really, really bad. And some people from a year ago, they're in the same spot. 3 years ago, they're in the same spot.
That's powerful.
Some people came to my very first Get Radical conference, and their progress has not been what it should be. And so let's go ahead, let's break this cycle. Let's take care of this once and for all so that we can live the abundant life, the prosperous life that we were created to live. It is available to you if you're willing to do the work.
That's right. And on top of the work, investing in ourselves. This is so important, Doreen, what you're doing, the work that you have before you, that all of us are taking those steps. No matter, you know, we plan vacations, we plan to buy cars, we save, we plan. So I want people everybody who's listening, no matter where they are, this is something that you have to invest. You have to plan to make this happen. Catch the flight, drive, carpool, whatever you need to do to be in this space.
Can I tell
if you're tired of hearing the same thing over and over, people, we have to make that investment. We have to make that happen.
Yes, and
I'm sorry, you were
on
saying
that
something?
point, because I heard you say that, and that's so critical. And I've been sharing this with people. So last month, I went to Nice, France, with a couple of my friends. And while we were there, we went to the Beyonce and Jay-Z concert. So the night before the concert, we're out hanging out. We just had dinner, and this young man bumps into me accidentally. And he says, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I said, "No problem. No worries." And then he turned back around and came back, and it was me and 3 or 4 of my other girlfriends. And he said, "Can I ask you a question?" And we were like, "Sure." He was like, "Do you know Julius, Beyonce's bodyguard?" And don't judge me, but I did know who Julius was. And he said, "I think I saw them at a restaurant. I think Beyonce's at this restaurant down the street." So we go down the street, they're in the restaurant. So, we're playing fans. But here's the lesson. This young man was 20 years old. He was from Australia, and he flew to Nice just for the concert.
Wow.
How bad do you want it? Like, what are you willing to do? He flew across the world from Australia to go to a Beyonce concert. I met a woman from Russia. She came from Russia by herself to see a Beyonce concert. Now, I'm a believer in the and. I think you can go to see Beyonce and invest in your future. This ain't about either or. I'm an and person.
That's right.
I'm an and person. And so make the effort. Make this your priority. Your transformation, your permanent change should be such a high priority for you that you should make it happen. It's that important.
Yeah. I think you just freed some people with that.
Yes.
That alone, because I think a lot of people want to, they're not sure what to do, but now having this roadmap that you are helping to lay out, helping them to do the work, it's going to free up some people if they make that decision.
Yes.
That's the decision they have to make.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I am excited. Any last words before we break out of here and everybody goes to your website so they can register and get the information they need to do to make this happen? Any last words you'd like to leave with us? Because I appreciate you so much for just taking time out of your hectic schedule.
I love this. I can talk this all day. But what I would leave you with is really my favorite quote from Henry David Thoreau, which is, "Most men lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with their song still in them." And so don't be most men. Most men lead lives of quiet desperation. So that means you have to be the uncommon man. You have to be the extraordinary man that's willing to not live in quiet desperation. Quiet desperation is being in a job that's suffocating you. Quiet desperation is being in relationships where people don't love and respect you. Quiet desperation is living in a financial situation that has you stressed and overwhelmed. And so if you don't want to lead a life of quiet desperation and go to a grave with your song, your gift, your talent, your impact still in you, you have to make the decision to change. And the Radical Success Intensive is an opportunity for you to make that decision.
Powerful. With that, go to radicalsuccessintensive.com, get your tickets, be in the place, be positioned to transform your life. Doreen, thank you.
Thank you. And hey guys, share your biggest takeaway, your biggest nugget in the comment section. If you're watching the replay, please do that as well. We want to hear from you. We want to know that we've made a difference in your life. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you.